Django tries to save his wife from slavery.
Hey guys, Kenny here. Stay cool and relax to the movies.
Django Unchained. This Django stars Jamie Foxx as Django, unlike the original two films starring Franco and Nero. This is about Django being a slave himself, and then this man, a bounty hunter played by Christoph Waltz, and Christoph's character saves Django from slavery, and they make a deal with each other that if Django helps him, Christoph's character, kill off these particular people in this group of bandits that have taken Django's wife into slavery, that the bounty hunter played by Christoph will help Django get to his wife and free her. And she's being held as a slave by this guy, can't remember his name, played by Leonardo DiCaprio. And he has like this butler or something played by Samuel L. Jackson. And he was an incredibly funny part in this film. That's basically what this is all about. It's really like a road picture also, because Django and the bounty hunter are going across the country on riding horses, and they're killing off certain people that have a bounty on their head, and they both split the earnings with each other. And that's really what first it's about. And that's a quick part of the film, because they try to get to the really big part where they get to this plantation that Leonardo DiCaprio's character lives on, and they try to convince him to, like, first they're wanting to put up a front to try and get this person who's a fighter, a black fighter, and the bounty hunter was to buy him at first, but then it's like a front because they're really trying to get to the wife, played by, I can't remember her name, but she was a really great character in this. And then Leonardo's character really has a sort of a bloodthirsty vendetta against the both of them, because at first he seems nice, and then when he finds out that they're trying to go after that black slave because there's a specific reason for her, he really goes crazy and mad and wants to try and get rid of them. But then he's convinced to try and give her up, and then the rest is about Django killing off these other people that were a part of being her taken in as a slave. So yeah, it's really like a revenge film, also more so than the other two Django films from 1966 and Django 2 from 1987. This is more of like a revenge film also. And Django is pretending to be like someone else, not trying to give away who he really is and what his real intent is. The funny thing was, even when there were other slaves around, he bossed them, pushed them around, even though he was a slave himself. And he tries to keep that front going and not let it be known that he's there for a different reason. And sometimes the bounty hunter, played by Christoph Waltz, has to remind him about that and what they're really there for, or that they'll get them both killed, or Django will get them both killed. And yeah, that's really what this whole film is about, and it was a really solid film. I loved everything in it. The action, though it may not be very much, but I really loved the action scenes in this. It was very bloody, and it really entertained me. And though the length may be too much for some viewers, I felt like it was very necessary for the film. I thought the length was perfect, because most of the time now in Quentin Tarantino films, the length of a film of his really is necessary, and it makes it feel epic. And I really think this was an epic film, and it's his highest grossing to date, I believe now. And that's about all the positives. I loved the camaraderie and the characterization between Christoph Waltz's character, the bounty hunter, and Django, played by Jamie Foxx. I really loved their scenes with each other. It didn't feel forced or boring, and it didn't feel like it dragged on too long. I really felt those scenes were necessary, and I think if any of those were taken out, it wouldn't be as powerful as it is, because that really let us know who the bounty hunter is, what his real intent is, and who Django also is as a person, not as a gunfighter or a slave, what he really is like as a person. And Leonardo DiCaprio, he was brilliant. I loved him as the slave owner. And he was also really funny too. Loved his scenes at the dinner table. The dinner table was the longest scene, and I loved his dialogue. And then Samuel L. Jackson was also a really funny part. But also when the bounty hunter and Django first ride up on the horses, I loved the scene between all four of them. And the other thing about the horses, the funny thing was, blacks weren't accustomed to seeing another black person riding a horse, so they all stared at him in amazement. It's like, oh, what's going on? Are they not used to seeing me on a horse? No, they're not used to seeing a black man on a horse. And yeah, that's about it. If there's anything negative, I can't really think of anything personally, but like sometimes it may drag on too long for some viewers. It may be too lengthy and time-wise for them, so they may think it's kind of boring to them, but I thought it was wonderful. That's about the only negative thing I can think about this, so I'll give it a rating of 5 out of 5 stars. So stay cool and roll out to the movies. Bye.